businesses accept payments online. Hannah, I'll toss things on over to you.
Thank you, Brad. Let's talk about RevenueCat, announcing today that it's raised $15 million in a Series A funding round led by Index Ventures. Joining me now is RevenueCat CEO and co-founder Jacob Eating. Jacob, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for joining us and congratulations on the funding round. First, tell us, what exactly does RevenueCat offer its clients?
So RevenueCat makes an SDK and API that allows developers to add subscriptions to their app so they can charge their customers on a recurring basis. And we make it much easier for them to do so, much faster.
So tell us why this service is so necessary. What gaps are left by the tech giants like Apple and Google that RevenueCat now fills?
Yeah, so Apple and Google provide their own separate subscription APIs so that they can take a cut of the store proceeds that they get on the Play Store or the App Store. And then they've sort of, in the lack of competition, not been so developer friendly with the way that they provide those tools to developers. And so RevenueCat comes in and sort of makes the entire experience much, much faster to developers, gives them not just the tools they need to add the subscription to their app, but then we also give them charting and analytics to allow them to monitor and grow their businesses. Our mission is to really just help them make more money. My co-founder and I come from a background of app makers who experience some of the challenges of building subscription apps. And so we really wanted to build something for people like us.
Sure, we hear these complaints all the time, Jacob. I'm so glad you mentioned it, especially here on Cheddar. We know Apple and Google Play, they're totally separate systems. So how do you solve that problem? How do you navigate?
I mean, we just have become sort of the experts, lots of documentation reading and sort of reading between the lines as we learn more and more about their systems and the quirks and the bugs. And honestly, it's just a ton of effort for any one developer to understand. And every developer really has to, if they want to provide their end users a really smooth subscription experience. Nothing's more frustrating as an end consumer to make that decision that I'm going to give this developer money for something and then having a software issue come in and maybe you don't get what you purchased or your cancellation doesn't get registered properly or something like that. So we take all that burden off of developers and kind of guarantee, like, we will give you a very clean and smooth interface across these different platforms. You know, if you're selling on, most large subscription apps are selling on Google and Apple, so they really need to know both systems and merge them at some level. And we take care of all of that for them.
Jacob, I don't have to tell you, when this pandemic started, more and more businesses now need to have an online presence. Have you seen an increase in your business since the pandemic started here in this country, at least a few months ago?
Yeah, so when it all went down back in March, we kind of all braced because we didn't know what was going to happen. We kind of had some theories that it could help us or hurt us, but nobody knew anything in March. But what we saw over the next few weeks was the signups to our website tripled. Apps that were on our platform, there were a few losers. Like if your app was not, for going to the gym or something like that, it obviously wasn't doing as well. But lots of our customers are focused on indoor activities, so we saw a lot of real boons from that. And then plus, everybody was just inside, and what's a good thing to do inside? Build apps. It's a great indoor activity. So yeah, the spring and the pandemic have been really, really good for us.
Well, let's talk about the funding. Again, congratulations. What do you guys plan on doing with it? Any expansion plans, maybe?
I mean, the team is about 18 people right now. We don't want to hire too fast because that's a great way to really kind of mess up the company if you don't do it right. So we're going to take our time, make sure we keep building the team in a responsible way. But we're really excited to sort of just take this investment from Index and others and sort of create a subsidy to build more great developer tools for the customers on our platform. There's just we've put ourselves in a position in people's apps that we can really help them grow their businesses. The more software creators that we can enable to reach financial independence is the better for us. So we're really looking forward to just taking the data we have and the position we have in somebody's app and really helping them grow.
You know, I was reading some of your articles. You have a very impressive background. You left Elevate about a year ago, and you said you wanted to build a startup around this, quote, weird skill that I have, which I love. I want to talk about that as well. But you mentioned, and you touched on this a moment ago, that this is exactly what's lacking that's holding so many companies back. Can you tell me more?
Yeah, I mean, it just becomes a real tax on developer resources. You decide, oh, we want to try this new pricing structure, and suddenly engineering's like, oh, it's going to take me a month. And I've been that developer that's had to go to their boss and be like, yeah, this is going to take a long time. And they kind of look at you like, what's wrong with you? And it's like, no, trust me, it's really hard, right? And so, and so that was kind of our inspiration. And when Miguel, my co-founder, and I started RevenueCat, it was clear like, this is something people need. And when I say it was our one weird skill, we had spent so much time at Elevate learning and figuring this stuff out. It was like, this would be really great to share with other people if we can.
I love that. That's fantastic. I have to ask, any plans to take the company public?
Yes, absolutely. I don't know if the SEC will get mad if I say when, but that's totally in the books for us. And that's our goal. We're hoping sometime this decade.
All right. Well, congratulations, RevenueCat CEO and co-founder Jacob Eating. I'll be watching. Great technology. Thanks so much, Jacob.